What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Bible Wisdom YouTube channel. I'm starting to get more professional with my videos, so check out for announcements. I just started a finance channel on YouTube called YE Finances. YE stands for Yahweh Everywhere, and I will probably have a link. There's stuff on my nose. I'll probably have a link to those to those channels on my website. But I wanted to talk about, why are we still here as far as the rapture is concerned? And when is the rapture? I did a video on this kind of topic before where I was saying that I believe we're going to be raptured at the last point before the tribulation begins. And so I believe that when Jesus said it would be like it was in the days of Noah, I'm talking pre-trib. So I'm a pre-trib person, but it said that Noah, the people did not know that there was a flood going to come all the way up until Noah entered the ark, and they did not know, and then the flood came and destroyed them all. It would be like in the days of Lot, where it wasn't until Lot exited Sodom that's when the people were destroyed, because it was the day of, or that within 24 hours that Lot left Sodom, that there was a rapture, that there was a fire and brimstone falling on Sodom and Gomorrah, and I equate that to there being a rapture. And so I believe that Jesus is describing that same type of topic, in that it's possible that we will be raptured at the start, or just right before the tribulation begins. I think everything needs to get set up first before the tribulation begins. I think that's one of the reasons why we can see the world getting more crazy, and we're like, whoa, what is going on? When is the rapture? I think this is a part of our test. I'm trying to do everything right. I recommend, if you drink alcohol, drinking a low or no alcohol wine or whiskey or whatever you drink. They have no alcohol versions of that. I do vape sometimes. Sometimes I vape. But other than that, I think we should be living clean lives. Lives that are, pleasing to the Lord. And that's one of my goals. I think if you do sin, repent of that sin and go in a different direction. But, I wanted to just bring out how, I think it's possible that, we won't be raptured until right before the tribulation. And God seems to work sometimes in a need-based way, where he seems to be doing something sometimes in a way of, if you need it, I'll provide for you. Otherwise, you can get it yourself or do things yourself until you need me to step in. And so now we're still getting to know God. We're going to have an eternity to know more about God. But I do think that, the descriptions of Jesus how he gave those two stories about Noah and Lot. When you really think about it, talking about Noah, I think the Bible describes Noah entering the ark. I think it was 7 days, 1 week before the rain actually started to fall. And so, you know, it. I think Lot himself had maybe that night to get out, but I think it was literally Lot left Sodom, and that same day it started uh, um, firing, fire and brimstone from the sky because, Lot's wife looked back and she was turned into a pillar of salt. And so it seems to me it was that same day, like it was all happening in one day for Lot. Now, again, for Noah, he seemed to have at least 7 days, 7 literal days of, 1 week of being inside the ark before the fire, before the whole world was destroyed. Now, I believe that it's possible that we will lean more towards the Noah scenario rather than the Lot scenario, just because Sodom and Gomorrah was just a city being destroyed. In the Noah's time frame, it affected the whole entire world. And so I would say, maybe God is going to do 7 days before, the tribulation happens, literal 7 days, literal 1 week before the tribulation is set to take place. Then we are raptured. But we have to wait all the way up until, the tribulation time frame is all set in place, where you have the mark of the beast system ready, which I think we do see that pretty much ready. We have the image of the beast. We have the temple. I think, it's possible that a temple in Jerusalem is going to be built. Now, one thing I would note is that I think Revelation can get confusing when starting to allegorize, make everything an analogy or symbolism. And in that case, we just have to wait and see type of thing what God does. But I think Revelation should be interpreted literally, like there's literal plagues that is going to come down. And I think we've seen God do literal plagues before, as far as the book of Exodus and Moses, where he used plagues to get his will done. And so now I do think that, some things we don't always know the whole temple time frame either. We could be saying, hey, I'm going to wait for the temple to be built, but that is something that could be coupled with the Antichrist sort of covenant that he makes with Israel, where they're able to build the temple. And I've heard rumors that they have everything ready in place right now, where it would only take them really a short period of time to even build the temple. And so I wouldn't bank my last dollar on, we need to wait for the temple to be built in order for the rapture to happen, because that could be a part of the covenant that the Antichrist makes with Israel, the peace treaty, the 7-year peace treaty. That could be, that seems like a good explanation when I've heard that. Now, aside from all the little details of the tribulation, I think we need to keep pushing forward and living for Jesus, doing our work for Jesus, all the way up until he comes, because those are the exact instructions that he gave us, was to continue doing business until he comes. And so, I do think that, the world is going to be on the brink of war, which we see right now, but um, I think everything has to be checked off as far as getting into the tribulation. We've already seen in history that there can be a world war without the tribulation actually being, a part of it. And so it has to be everything, checking off the boxes, which is um, all the things that, couple with World War and the events of Revelation, talking about the mark of the beast, talking about an image that can be set up. We know now that we've seen AI, we know that technology has something to do with some of the events in Revelation chapter 13, and around those chapters. And so we need to see more of an advancement in AI. I think it's possible that one of the beasts that God talks about in the book of Revelation could be some sort of robot that, becomes a person or something like that. And they're doing crazy stuff with technology. And so, it's interesting that God calls it a beast. And so I do think that we need to see more advancement in robotics probably, but we don't know the day or the hour. But I think these are just some things to really keep in mind. And maybe I can do a longer video talking about the rapture again, because it's always good to just be reminded of these things, and I think we're just going to see the world get up to the stage where we're like, okay, for sure, everything is in place for the events of the tribulation. Now, is it possible that they're going to have a one world economy before the forcing of the mark of the beast? I think that's possible. Before we're raptured, maybe they'll put these robots out on, replacing all these jobs and workers, and the government just says, hey, we're going to give you guys a level of income to survive. But then during the tribulation, it's going to become a forced mark of the beast. And so that's something that we could possibly see take place, where, it is kind of like, the system is there, it's ready to go, but not necessarily the beheading of people or something. That's something that the Antichrist does. But could we see a one world government form before that? I think it's possible. I think everything needs to be set in place for the tribulation to take place, and then some of the hard parts of the tribulation get implemented as well. And people are going to be saying peace and safety, meaning maybe we do get to a place where, people are no longer having to work, and, now we get a certain amount of money in our bank account, from the government, and there's a one world government, and, it seems like life is so great, where, maybe there's more technology, maybe there's more, flying to different places and world travel, and everyone's like, wow, life is so good, where, everything is perfect. And then, the tribulation happens. And so I think that, space travel could get more advanced too. Maybe that's what Daniel meant when he said people will go to and fro. People, maybe they're going to set up location in the moon. I don't know. Maybe they are going to make their nest among the stars. I did a little short video on my shorts on YouTube, on short videos, where it's possible that God has, given us some evidence of that. And so I think the world could advance even more before we get to the tribulation, but we have to be saying peace and safety, and then sudden destruction comes. And so we could still have a few more years. We don't know. We don't know the day or the hour. But I know when the Bible describes Babylon, it is an amazing city. It is an amazing place where people are literally weeping from it. They're weeping that they could not, be a part of the city of Babylon. And so for that to take place, I think that, we need to see more advancement, and I think we will. So tell me, think about some of these things. I don't usually leave comments up, but hopefully this was helpful to someone. I'm on my break at work. So thanks so much, and I will talk to you next time. See ya.